John Royski, Fundai and Rachel Powell, Reynolds, Michelle Schulte, Stanley S., Scott Colhart, Al Mantra Art, Rodney Pope, Lisa Ross, K&T Do Halloween, Great House Haunts, Christopher Lazote. Okay. There we go. Yes, I don't know if Cobwebs is here or DM Cash. We missed you too. We had to do a little thing we call Monster Camp. That has been, yes, that was the crux of my last couple days. So then we have some other things to do. Okay, White is going to be here and reading comments. I'm going to be here also doing stuff, you know.
So much is happening.
You can tell I'm a professional YouTuber. I start the show and I walk away. Completely out of frame. Well, it's not that I'm back, it's that you're back. Like, I was here the whole time. Like, I was in the shop, like, let's just say 38 of the past 48 hours. But now you're here. Oh, notifications are on. Sorry. See, I thought I had set those up to turn off automatically, and I get a lot of notifications. Okay, I should be on notifications.
Okay, fabulous time at your monster camp.
I did have a fabulous time.
I guess you guys went on a float trip with my kids. It was a blast. I'm glad to be back. It's Michelle Schulte.
Oh, that's illegal in Texas.
Those masks from Monster Camp were very cool. Yes, there.
They were indeed. They did a great job.
Rodney says, I love all the creations from this Monster Camp. Rodney is for Monster Camp 6.
Rodney is coming to Monster Camp 6, which is the next one.
Alexis.
Awesome.
Hey, Ezekiel.
Hello, sir.
Realms loves his shirts. He received his shirts today. That's great.
Great.
Rue Newman. Hello, Rue.
What's up, Rue? Rue, when are you coming back up north?
Hi, Alan. How are you doing tonight? That's James Minute.
Hey, James.
Jerry Collins says, hello, Lost Zodiac Productions. Hey.
Hey.
Hey. What was your favorite mask made at camp besides yours?
Well, that's not a very nice thing to say. Yeah, and I mean, it was a tough one. The spider was very cool. You can't help but like the Jeepers Creepers character, so that one was cool. Amber's Demon was awesome. And then there's the bat, and I have a fondness in my heart for bat creatures because I was a bat monster when I met my wife. So I'm not picking.
Hey, Amanda Jensen.
Hey.
Wife. I had fun at Monster Camp, but I missed my home and bed. Headed back to Omaha in the morning.
Hooray.
Safe travels, Amanda.
Yes, take care, you.
It was great having you at school. Thank you so much for making the trek to Texas. Amanda was our only out-of-town Monster Camp. Everybody else was local.
Well, they're out of town. They just weren't.
They're in Texas.
Like, yeah, but a 6-hour drive for some people, that's like states away.
Yeah, they're still in Texas. She
Okay.
came from into Texas. Ruth says he has no idea at the moment.
Okay.
Hello from Ireland.
Hello, Ireland.
Hey, Gray Hawkins says, how was Monster Camp?
I think it was wonderful. I think Monster Camp was awesome. I'm a little biased.
Any tips on securing the tip of EVA horns together? Mine keep separate.
Yes, go inside and 45 those corners because the EVA foam has a thickness. So if you knock the corners off of it, they're much more likely to go together. You can't just leave it as a flat because you're trying to glue 3 flats together and you kind of have to angle, bevel cut them, and then they will go together. first thing I have to do is trim this blank. Honey, you let me know if cobwebs and candlesticks is on.
He is.
He is.
I did say him earlier.
Oh, okay. Because I need to know is this a display or is this a mask? Like, are you going to wear Mummra around the house, or are you going to want this guy to be a display of some kind?
I also let him know that he's an invoice for a very small amount because he's just bought it.
Yeah, because creepers like paying people's bills.
Yeah, cobwebs, make sure you check your PayPal invoices. The creepers bought you a mask. Let's see, KBFX. The live streams always start just as my battery is done.
I plan it that way.
Cameron Steinblock. I got my first animatronic. I'm making a Halloween walkthrough in my yard, and it was on sale.
Well, very cool.
Rodney Pope says, I couldn't pick a favorite. They were all so good.
They really were.
HBK Styles. Finally, something worth watching tonight. I'm going to burn this one for you guys.
Hooray.
Shannon, what did you cook? Ross, I actually, it was a toss-up. For this monster camp, because of the mess Texas is in, I actually chose to bring in food from town because the thought being that was safer. And that was my plan. And that is what I did Friday and Saturday. And by Saturday night, I could no longer bear it because I'm bringing in, while it's good food, it's not home cooked, and I can't, my southern sensibilities will not allow it. And so I went to the grocery store Saturday night, and then Sunday I made them a really nice lunch because I couldn't stand it anymore. So I did some chicken, vegetable skewers, caprese salad, which is tomato, basil, mozzarella, because tomato and basil in my garden are exploding. Grilled veg, some grilled French bread, a big green salad, some brownies, and I made a lemon lime herb rice. So it was light, but it was super fresh. And my hope is that for Monster Camp 6, we're back on track and we can cook properly, because I can't bring you guys crap anymore. It's not good for you. I can't do it. And there you go. No crap.
Hashtag no
home
crap.
cooking.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Bruce says, when do you want me, buddy?
I'll let you know.
What is the plan for tonight?
Tonight I am prepping Mummra for paint, and I will get Mummra based out, and I'll probably heat gun the crap out of him so that I can go ahead and paint it.
Ezekiel says, hope you, Shannon, and the Still Beast crew had rest. I imagine Monster Camp is go, go, go.
It is. It's a lot of long days.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I had a long rest period in the Poolio. That's helpful.
When you trim on a full mask, do you Dremel and then patch, or try to hide the seams further with latex?
Patching is the very last thing before you paint. So you always Dremel first.
Hello, Paul Bennett. Hello, Allie Carroll.
Hello.
Cobweb says, full foam-filled bust like Pope's Beastman bust.
Oh, okay. So I got to turn this into a whole mask. This is a half mask. All right, we can do that.
Monster Camp looked like fun. A lot of talent there.
Yes. Yes, there was.
There was a lot of talent, guys. And then there was a lot of talent that people didn't even know they had.
Alexa, add Loctite foam to my shopping list.
You already have Loctite foam on your shopping list.
Great.
Would you like to add Loctite foam again?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Shall come anytime. Hi, all. It's Still Be Studio crew. I've missed you all. Dead Man's Cave has been shortened to Sparrow's Cave.
Sparrow's Cave.
It's
Like Jack Sparrow's Cave?
sounded like it. Hello, Jeremy are ready to see werewolf foot molding in the near future, hint, hint.
Yes, very soon, this week. Have to grab something from the other area.
Yes, Rodney, it was great. Part of the pleasure of Monster Camp is getting to do some spoiling, so that was really nice. And Michelle, you come anytime. Just tell me before you do. Chad Smith, good evening, buddy. No rest for the weary. You have to be tired after this busy weekend.
Bah!
Hello, good evening, friends. How are we doing tonight after a busy weekend? Joseph Creations would like to know.
Doing great.
How much do you charge for a custom half mask?
It depends, but normally you are in the $250 range. But it does depend a little bit on some of the variables.
Plastic Ninja, everybody's a great time. Jordan Muncie, so glad to see you back. I'll be getting back to you about the werewolf feet soon.
Cool.
Lisa says hammer time while we wait for lock time.
Well, we're going to get this guy painted, but we will start up with hammer time here shortly.
Sparrow K says yes, like Jack Sparrow. Cosplay as Jack Sparrow. Hello, John C.
Well, that is a watery mess. The weather has my air compressor full of water. It's getting past my water traps and everything. Wife, tell a story. I have to bleed a compressor.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to give you guys a bit of a rundown on Monster Camp. Monster Camp was it was excellent. And the trick about Monster Camp, I actually call this Monster Camp, I call it the Miracle Camp. Gosh, I look tired. We're tired. I call it the Miracle Camp because, understandably, I mean, it was supposed to be in April, and we moved it to August. And back in April, we thought this would all be over. Obviously, that's not what happened. And understandably, a lot of people had to cancel. And they're canceling, not on their own accord. They're canceling because Texas is a mess right now. It is. And maybe their state was a mess too. We had one gentleman who could not quarantine for 2 weeks after coming back from Texas. And so, it's not his fault, man. It's a job. So, we were doing a lot of refunding because, and as a rule, you don't refund, but in this case, it's not their fault. Who knew this was going to happen? And we started enrolling for the April Monster Camp back in January or February, I think it was. We started enrolling in the May Monster Camp in February. So this whole year, we've been planning to have already had these camps finished, and this one was April's camp. So April moved to August, that's what we just finished. And we had 4 students, and they did amazing. The thing to remember about Monster Camp, we did have one student, Steve Hayes, who you'll see on here a lot of times. Steve he did the Jeepers Creepers mask, and he was a return student. He was part of Monster Camp 3 last summer in June. So June 2019, Steve was a Monster Camp 3. He came back from Monster Camp 5, did the Jeepers Creepers. And Amber, who you saw, who sculpted Shikumo, a lot of you call her movie pinup girl, Amber came and did class. So she had actually sculpted one before, but others had not. I don't think Amanda had, I don't think Dee had. So the thing to remember, and I want people to know, because I know that a lot of people are asking these questions, you don't have to have prior experience to do this. You don't have to have ever touched clay. You can come to Monster Camp with 0 experience and what you believe to be 0 talent, and you will You'll do well.
We will all laugh at
You
you.
will do well. We won't laugh at you. He's such a jerk. I don't know why y'all put up with him. But you will. You don't have to have experience to do monster camp. That's the whole point. So that's just something that I want to put. I get a lot of people who ask that and say, you know, well, I'd love to do it, but I don't know how to sculpt, or I got to be ready to sculpt, or I haven't practiced. It has nothing to do with that. You know, one of our students was supposed to be a student for a different camp, and she came to Monster Camp 5, and she had like days. She didn't even know she was coming, and she jumped in. So
She made a spider.
you can too. She made the spider. So if you guys like the spider, which a lot of people said they really liked, Dee Dee had 2 days to prep for that. She hadn't sculpted before. So you can too. So there you go. You can do it. Are you set now?
I'm almost set.
Are you working? Are you working?
Well, I'm always working.
Okay.
So this was an empty bucket. And now it is full of rusty sludge compressor water. Drain your compressors, kids. And that is because of the climate here in Texas. The compressed air condenses.
Plastic Ninja says, hopefully next year when this whole dumpster fire calms down, I can finally get some monster.
Yeah.
These masks were really great.
Look at that. That all came out of the compressor.
What are the year-round ponds doing to be open in October due to COVID?
What's the question?
What are the year-round ponds doing to open in October due to COVID?
Social distancing, staying 6 feet apart. Actors won't get any closer than 6 feet. Everybody wears a mask, guests and actors, and they have to social distance while in the queue. Extra hand sanitizing stations, and they also no more putting groups together. It's going to be whatever group your party comes with, that's who goes in with you. So you won't be taking. It's economical to take group of two, group of two, group of two, group of four, make a group of 6, send them. Well, if they only come as a group of 2, they have to go as a group of 2. So that's part of the bit.
So I did not realize this, but Mummra looks a lot like Steve Buscemi. That's RPD.
The older Mummra, I think you're right.
Cameron Steinblock says, I plan on coming as soon as I have enough money.
Sweet.
Hello, Bravo Brian. Misty Jezereski, I just watched one of your videos where you mentioned to have mirrors in your haunt that doesn't show a person's reflection. How do you do that?
Did I say that? I bet I told you in the video. Watch the whole thing, because right now I don't know. I don't know.
Rebel Brian says, I've seen times ticketing.
Yeah, you'll see sometimes ticketing.
Sparrow's Cave says that 550 is a lot.
But
Monster camp.
I suppose. I mean, I don't know of a cheaper one, so you know, and then don't come. I don't know what else to say. I think that's actually a pretty good value for what you're getting. So, materials wise, I mean, you get to sculpt and make a mask. You get the mold. It's a success rate because I'm working. You know, you get an apron, you get a head bust, you get a set of sculpting tools, and 3 days of my time. And any mask question or whatever you come up with, I'm right here. So I haven't had anyone complain and say that it was too expensive or too much or not worth it after they have come.
Plus you get all your food is covered, and you get a Monday, a tour of Dark Hour, and a field trip to Biggie Mold Supply.
Yeah, you don't pay for any meals, so I would respectfully disagree.
Misty Jesreski, it was 20 minutes search for the last call on anti-from Shui, and it's one of the last thing you mentioned, the pepper steps.
I'll have to look it up and see exactly what I was talking about. That video is probably 6 years old. I do think you should put mirrors in your show, because if you put mirrors in your show, your guests will scare themselves with their reflection. If you have one without there, sometimes you could do that with a double room. The best one that I saw was at, it used to be at Spooky World in their roller rink, or disco haunted house. It was their disco haunt. And you went into like a ladies' bathroom, and there was a men's door and a women's door. You go into the women's room, and there was the frame, and there was all the bottles, and in the mirror, which was just a piece of glass, you could see the stalls reflected on the other side and all the bottles lined up. But it was just, they built a whole double room on the other side. So when the actor walked out, it really freaked people out. So that's one way to do it.
I heard someone use the phrase cold casting. I was wondering what that was.
Normally when you say cold casting, they're talking about metallics. And that means that you're not using actual hot metal and pouring it into a mold. You're using resin, but you're using metal powders inside of the resin. And then you buff it, and it looks like metal.
What is that switch you just hit?
That is a switch for my air compressor. I have it set up on like a remote control switch for the outlet. And what happened was, when I set it back down, the air compressor kind of moved a bit and unplugged itself. And that's why I lost air pressure. And I had to go plug it back in and then hit the switch in here.
Realm says I got another $10 airbrush.
Great. I have a bunch of those.
Like Thor says, one day I will make it to Monster.
Come on, make it to Monster King.
Plastic Ninja, there's a bar in Chattanooga that has no glass where the mirror should be, and instead you see the women and men washing their hands on the other side. Oh,
That sounds mildly inappropriate.
gross. This is it's trippy. Cobwebs and candlesticks. Cold cast is 1/3 resin, 1/3 hardener, 1/3 brown metal powder of your choice.
I've never heard such strict measurements for it. You just mix. I mean, I have some up here that I use. Here it is. This is tin powder for use in resin. This is Sculpt Nouveau tin powder, and it's finely ground tin. And I normally will dust the mold with it, the silicone mold with it, and then I will mix it into the resin. I don't normally do 1/3. I do like maybe 1/5. And then you put it in. Black resin I find is best, but yeah, it's a technique, not necessarily a formula. When you're cold casting, you're simulating metal. Hi everybody. I might be tired after Monster Camp. I just tried to plug in the heat gun to the airline. I'm like, well, this isn't working.
What does the tin powder do to the casting?
It makes it look a lot like tin. I mean, when you buff it with steel wool afterwards, it looks like tin. The shine of the metal comes through. It's nice.
Hey, Beth. We have not released any further dates, not until we know how Texas is going to do.
Yeah, we got to see what's happening in the world. You might want to see what I'm working on.
Hey, Alan, I ordered urethane rubber from Big Foot, so I have no sugar prepared for casting. But I plan to phone you and just check with you.
So who was that? So I don't do urethane. I just do a latex copy. If you're worried about shrinkage, then just have the latex cure up as slowly as possible. Like put a humidifier in the area. I'm just not a fan of the urethane method, so I don't do that. That's not something that I recommend. It may work very well. Other people swear by it. It's just not something that I do, so I can't really give a lot of advice on it. Urethanes are kind of temperamental, so I don't like them. That's big in the Michael Myers community, and I'm just not that guy.
When you get a new super quiet compressor, what size will you get? I only say a 1 to 2 gallon tank from the full Corpus Ultra Quiet. Will that be enough for your biggest paint guns?
Yeah, that's the one that I'm looking at, and that's the one that I'll probably get here soon.
How close are you to molding the wearable thread?
I could mold it at any time. I have to have a dedicated amount of time that's long enough to do it. And I'll probably do it over a couple nights this week, simply because it's going to be a big mold. It's a 3-part mold.
Do you have plans on different themed monster camps, like sets, costumes, tech, etc.?
Yes, we do. We have plans for labs, and we have plans for monster camps. But again, plans are a little bit on hiatus right now while we figure out what's going on in the world.
I plugged one end of the extension cord to the opposite end by mistake, and it ended up with unlimited power.
That's excellent.
That's awesome.
Just got to splice into the middle to get that power working. If you do that, technically it's Schrodinger's power, because you don't know if there's power going through there or not. Because of course there's not once you unplug it, and that's the only way to check. This is why heat guns are my friend. See how fast that dried up? Let's pull up some Mummra references. That'll be fun. Mummra is just baby blue all over. I got a new computer, so I don't know how anything works.
I feel like this virus will disappear after November and the elections for some reason.
That's possible, I suppose. I'm not necessarily going to talk about that right now.
After watching the fun you had with getting the mask out of the mold, you should do a whole video on how to do it without damaging them, all the tricks.
Well, there are a bunch of tricks. You saw several methods that Shannon posted. Aha, Mummra was moved to finished sculpts. Wife, have you got comments?
Yes?
Because
Yes, okay.
go doing my.
I really have missed your lives and being able to pick your brain.
Here is the brain. Pick away, my friends.
If you're able, I would like to see the process on the 3-part mold.
Yeah, I'm going to do it live. Absolutely.
Oh,
I know that Gregory's interested in that, and I'm interested in showing y'all. It's a different fun beast.
Alan, did you ever hear what was walking around in your yard?
No, we have not figured that out yet because we were minding our own business, and then a wild monster camp appeared. So what I'm going to do on this is a classic dry brush. And by classic dry brush, what I mean is that I'm going to start with a darker color than I need, this blue. And then I'm going to add white to it and do another coat, add white to it, do another coat. Then we'll pop in and do shadows with the airbrush.
Lisa says, baby blue and lots of glitter. Cobweb says, it's baby gray, blue gray, baby blue around the eyes. PJ Styles, yes, that's exactly why I needed to cast in a non-shrinking rubber, a copy of the mold after casting. Shrank it too much, 16%.
Wow, that's a lot smaller.
I remember a video.
Did you speed dry it? If you speed dry it, the faster it cures, the more it shrinks. Just be aware of that.
I remember a video, I think it was Intestines on the Cheek, where your heat gun was legit on fire when you sat it down.
It happens sometimes. It's fine. It's fine.
It says it looks a bit like a Mayan totem. Ezekiel says, sorry I missed it. Is it a mask or a prop head?
It'll be a prop head. It'll be turned into a bust.
Lone Wolf, I'm glad you won't allow politics to plague this.
Yeah, no, not my plan. It's not what we want. My wife is ready on the ban hammer for political folks.
And that just rarely happens. It's just not what we do here. It's everywhere. It doesn't have to be here. Cobweb says, no pipe.
Hey man, sometimes you just get the pipe.
Hello, Moon 20. Moon 20, you're late.
Hello, Moon 20.
Tarantulas, happy glitter beam. Hello, Hugo.
Yeah, Mummra is full of glitter. So I'm gonna get out the glitter cannon for this one.
Oh my gosh, I look worse. Don't do it, don't do it.
Looks like the Burbles painted it.
Lockhart Monster Fab, Monster Camp 4.
Hello, Lockhart Monster Fab.
Hey guys?
Before Monster Camp 4, they were just slightly interested in monsters, Lockhart.
Well, they were
Now they're
promised-
Lockhart Monster Fab.
They were promised lab monsters.
Yeah. I might give Mummra some pastel paint highlights. That'll be good.
You must be fabulous, Mummra, the ever-loving.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it goes. I'm pretty sure.
Great job. Lockhart says they're staying at it. Their website is up and running.
Awesome.
I ran into some awesome Halloween decorations at the old-time pottery that I'll be getting for the shops. It's KVFX Special Effects.
Cool. My wife
Hello.
loves old-timey Halloween decorations.
I do. Go classic or go home. I want to go home. Linda Vito. Enjoy the updates from Monster King.
Wife, you underestimate my willingness to go home.
I know where you want to go. DJ Styles. I can't wait to make monster masks this winter. I've always been a huge fan of Michael Myers masks because I've seen that movie on Halloween night, 1978. I was 16 years old and with 2 girls. There you go.
That was a good evening.
That was a great time. Oh, I love that blue. Is that the same color you used for the spider?
Nope.
Boy, I love
But
it.
it's going on top of this black and it just pops nicely.
Oh, it's yummy.
This is the darkest tone that he's going to have on him. And then we'll go, of course, with pastel pinks and some pale lavender over this. And some flamingo pink around the eyes, like eyeliner.
KVFX says, I added a couple of masks to my online eBay shop, a Leatherface 2 and Part 4.
Cool.
Stevenson's Metal says, looking good.
What?
Hugo says, wonderful monster camp. When things get back to normal, I will be there.
From Brazil?
From Brazil, Hugo, that would be just amazing.
Hugo, if you come from Brazil, I will give you a slight discount.
Lisa says, don't forget the eyelashes.
Oh yeah, monster eyelashes.
John Royski, I just saw the video with everyone's masks from Monster Camp. I would not have believed any of them was their first mask. Everyone did a great job.
Many of them were. Now Amber, you have seen Skull before, so she was not. And that was actually Steve Haynes' second Monster Camp. But the other two were first-time mask makers and first-time sculptors.
It looks so good. Mike Murphy, why did we not get to see Monster Camp live?
You did see some of Monster Camp live, but come on now, it's a 12-hour day, it's another 12-hour day, and then it's an 8-hour day. That's too much live. You got some updates.
Ezekiel says, Hugo, me too, international represent.
Yeah.
KVFX, I'm waiting on some crepe hair to add that troll mask and bust option. And then we will be selling Chatter Cinnabite busts soon also.
Cool.
What time does camp usually start?
Starts at 9 a.m. on Friday.
Mummra needs some special gear. I heard he's into bandage. Oh, tarantula. It's terrible.
He's a mummy. He's into bandage. Get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. I didn't know if she knew he was a mummy.
You know, I figured that one out. I did that.
She's not yet.
I'm not yet. I can't fight you on that.
I always, like my favorite part of that whole transformation was the big statues that he had in his lair. One of them was of Sobek, the crocodile god, and I think one of them was the other one was Thoth. And I just love those statues.
He just says she's your smart walking.
Yes.
Alan, you can never have too much live. Well, maybe some cases you
Yeah. Apparently I toot in my sleep. You don't want to see that live. Live cam of Alan sleeping because he's tired. And I no longer like wonder what folks will watch. I accidentally went live on my phone while I was fishing last time, and my phone was underwater, and I pulled it up after it was live for like 4 minutes, and there's 50 people watching my phone blub blub underwater. So yeah.
Making bug masks here in Ireland. I hope Halloween goes well.
Awesome. I love
It
bug
is,
masks.
okay. Rob O'Brien, took me until the day after the sculpt day to figure out he was a mummy. I think it was when you posted on your Cooper's page.
All right, so that is blue. And then we start knocking it down and knocking it down. Next goes several layers of pastel paint. And then while the paint is wet, we'll shoot all the glitter out.
Plastic Ninja says, I don't want to be live when you're doing the bandage. RB says, there's a fetish for that somewhere. Alan, be careful what you say. Sean Davies, have you ever heard the outtakes from the show? It's hilarious.
I haven't. I have heard they are hilarious.
Lisa says, very versatile mask. It can go with many themes.
Can.
All right, 1980, I'm going to read this. Little known fact. Mummra had a son, but he chose not to be a villain. He was too much a Mummra's boy. Lockhart says, I was one of the fishing watchers.
To win 20 imaginary points. What was the name of Mummra's dog? Because he had a dog that featured prominently on the show.
Cobweb says, no peekage. Rodney says, I was trying to figure out if you were okay that day fishing since the phone was underwater. KBFX, my airbrush is spitting a lot of moisture. Clear the trap from time to time, and I am at 45 to 60 psi. Maybe I need a new setup. Well, the kit from Amazon came here from China.
Just make sure that you have a good moisture trap on it. That is important.
It says Alan's live from under the sea. Well,
Yeah, under the creek.
the creek.
And it was after that I saw that I almost caught. I had a 5-foot gar take my bait under, took my lure under, and I fought with him for about a minute and a half, but he got away. Gar have a very bony mouth, so it's hard to set a hook on it. And normally I use treble hooks, so you don't quite have the hook pressure you do with a single hook. And you're supposed to let them keep the bait for a while before you pull it, because what a lot of fishermen who want to catch it and don't care if it lives, they want them to swallow it. Then the hook is inside of them and you can get them in. But I don't. I want the fish to swim away, you know, give me the middle fin as he wanders off and be fine. So I try to set the hook in their mouth as soon as they bite it.
Cobweb said, if 1980 ever orders anything, glitter bomb it. Mummra joke. Was the name of the dog Anubis?
No, it was not.
Okay. Press on. Stevenson Metal says, I'm in the mood to watch some Thundercats now.
Ho!
Was it
Someone said Thundercats.
Lamut?
It was Ma Mutt.
Wow, tarantula.
Yeah, it was Ma Mutt.
Tarantula had it.
You win 20 imaginary internet points.
Cobweb says, Mamet was the dog. Growing up on Thundera, Lion-O had a pet prehistoric dog and named him. Lion-O had a pet prehistoric dog.
I did not know that. I don't know that one. Like, see, I didn't keep track of the good guys. I just want the monsters.
Was the youngest person you've had at a monster camp Cameron Steinbluck? It was 19.
Yeah, so far they were 19. And they came from Los Angeles.
Yes. Alan, did you ever go to school for this stuff?
No. But I stood in school a lot. I was a model for the Joe Blasco Makeup Center's advanced prosthetic course. And that was very helpful to me because while I'm the model and standing there getting my body casted and my head casted like 30 times, I learned a lot.
Larry Hughes talking about fishing. I was told a small single hook, but always thought a treble hook for gar.
Well, see, with a single hook, you have more pressure. When you pull on the rod, if there's one point trying to dig into the mouth. If there is 3 hooks, then you have reduced the pressure by 3 that is going onto the roof of their mouth. So actually a single hook is going to set more often than a treble hook will.
Ezekiel says, I would give you the middle fin if you dragged me 80 yards underwater and then let me go.
Yes, exactly.
1980 says, luckily, I already got my shirt.
That's what I want. I want them to learn an important life lesson that people can't be trusted and to stay away from easy meals. That's what I want to teach them. And then, they can just go off on their own.
Cobweb says, Lion-O's dog's name was Kano.
Kano.
K-A-I-N-O.
Okay.
What type of paint are you dry brushing?
Okay, I am using a paint that I mixed up. This is latex mask paint. Say it with me, all my regular watchers. It is 1/3 casting latex, 1/3 distilled water, and 1/3 house paint in the color you like from Home Depot. I use interior flat. I'll be selling my latex mask paint soon because a lot of people just don't want to make it themselves.
What was your oldest student at Monster Camp? I guess I'd say late 50s, early 60s.
Late Monster Camp 1,
Yeah.
early 60s,
I'd
mid
say she was
60s.
in her 60s.
Yeah, so 60s, in their 60s.
Yeah. Rodney Pope, I was at NFM on Saturday wearing my Stiltbeast t-shirt. One of the employees said someone else was there earlier wearing the same t-shirt.
At NFM?
NFM, what's that, Rodney?
Rodney, what is NFM?
Tarantula. I shall treasure my imaginary points.
Hooray!
I need to go, though. I promised someone some game time. Good night, Tarantula.
This is classic dry brush. Right now there's 2 layers on there, but look at the depth that we're getting with just 2 layers of paint.
Say hello to Marissa Alexis. Hello.
Hello, Marissa Alexis.
Pat Smith. I think I came up with a new mask idea, and I haven't really seen any of it. Just have to figure out where the actor will see from.
Often I say just make it and then hope for the best.
Hello, Edson.
Hey, Edson.
Scott Colehart, thank you for posting that. DJ Styles, Alan, I was wondering your thoughts on using a black base coat under the flesh and the white for more depth on my Myers mask.
I always use a black base coat. I used to base in flesh or black. Now I pretty much just base it black. I pretty much just base it black.
NFM is Nebraska Furniture Mart.
Oh, very cool.
Realm says it looks so good. Alan Hirsch says, I will be your oldest when I come. Great! It will make no difference, Alan. It will make 0 difference. The only age, Alan Hirsch says he
yes.
will be the oldest when he comes.
Yep, come on.
The only age different restriction we have is if you are under 18, you have to have a parent or legal guardian with you. Other than that, first tattoo soon. Designing a Bride of Frankenstein motif, and I couldn't be happier with how it turned out.
Cool. That's awesome.
Plastic Ninja. I can't believe I've forgotten, but what alcohol-based paint do you use in your airbrush again?
I use Pinata inks.
Jeffrey Freeman, I'll be watching for that. Thanks for the recipe. Historical Haunting. Hello.
Hello. What a great name. I like
That is a great
historical
name.
haunting. I think I like historical haunting. I
Rodney
am
Hill?
historical haunting.
Yes, you are.
I've been doing this a long time.
So anybody here go there on a Saturday? No, Rodney, we don't.
Someone might have.
Lone Wolf, do you know where I can buy an arm form for sculpting gloves and sleeves?
Okay. Here's what you do. And I saw your comment on YouTube, and I was about to answer it. So you get monster clay. Monster clay. You put it in a crock pot and you melt it down. And then you get yourself a set of big rubber gloves. Harbor Freight has some good, like electric, or they have, like they're called acid gloves or something. But they're big black rubber gloves. And then you... Un momento, por favor. So, this is a big glove from Harbor Freight, all right? And in it, I put melted monster clay. And then you have a rather hard hand that you can pose the fingers in because they're all just monster clay. And you can shave it down to get the width that you want, but this is the easiest way to make a hand form. Normally, molding a hand doesn't work too well because often in the mold people do their hands like this. Not enough room to sculpt in between there. So what I normally do is I put monster clay inside of a rubber glove, and then you can bend it out and cut the rubber glove off, and then you have a great way to sculpt gloves. Because then you sculpt in wet clay. Hope that makes sense, because then you can sculpt on top of the monster clay in wet clay. So that's the way I do it. I'm going to go one more round of gray on this. I want to tone down the blue a little bit. Let's get us a little more crypty. He is blue because the blood in him has no oxygen to it, because his heart isn't beating, because he is a decrepit monster.
Hey, Stan. Stan says, Rodney Pope, I was there all day.
Hey, Stan. Stan. One of the things that we'll be doing soon, we're going to make a Mummra headdress to cut out of a laser cutter. So we're going to do that soon.
Juan Gonzalez, Nino Burrito, sir. I have watched many of your videos. You have taught me a lot over the years. I really wish my haunt was open this year. We've been closed due to the ship being dry docked for 2 years.
I understand that. Now we're getting closer to that grayish tone.
DJ Styles says, I can't wait to come for a visit in November.
Cool. Let me know when you're getting here.
How's your personal bottled paint line coming?
It's coming. It's a little slow. Again, Monster Camp kind of got in the way. There was a container shortage I had to work around, but it's happening. It is happening.
Juan Gonzalez again. This is our 3rd year that we won't be open.
That sucks.
Edson says, Monster Camp sure looked like a lot of fun.
Monster Camp is a lot of fun.
Hello, Madeline. 1980. Okay. Hang on, I gotta read it first.
1980, I don't think she trusts you.
Okay, this is several parts to it. You said use a crock pot. Word to the wise. Do not use your wife or your mother's crock pot. Go back and she could.
Yes, the thrift store has $10 crock pots. And they're great for clay.
Marissa Alexis, I got my Masters of the Universe t-shirt today. It's incredible.
Awesome! I'm so glad.
John Emerson, I just want to say hello and ask a question. I am really retired. I'm looking for a new hobby. Do you have any videos out there that teach how to get started and the type of space required?
So watch my last video from last Wednesday called Full Process Latex Mask Making, Full Process Talk Through. I just kind of talk through the whole process. And I do mention what kind of clay you use should be determined by where you're working. So there you go. Yes. And feel free to email me, stillbeefstudios@gmail.com, and ask that question, and then I can write you out a nice detailed answer.
Tom Wolf, you were helping him with the arm hold.
Yeah.
Says that's incredible. Works out too. I already have monster clay. Thank you so much.
Glad to hear it. Everything I see on Mummra just has black in his mouth, but we're gonna go a deep purple. Bless you, wife.
Stan says headdress. Woohoo!
Mixed up that whole color, and that's all I needed of it.
Juan Gonzalez, if you are ever in the northern Midwest, come visit the William A. Urban. It will be open in 2021. Our high water, regardless of the virus, we will be open next year.
Awesome. And what city is it in?
DJ Styles, yes, I still have to watch your Monster Camp video. Maybe after you guys get off tonight, because of my work schedule, it's been tough managing my time.
Understood.
It's in Duluth, Minnesota.
Oh, I would go to Duluth Trading Company. That's where I buy all my underwear. Then I would eat some cheese. Mmm, Duluth cheese.
Okay. Is writing a joke. It's in bait cards.
Holy moly, it's making you work.
Yes.
Okay,
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm not wanting you into the system.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Snow White, Little Red Riding Hood, and Pinocchio were in class. The teacher told them to draw something you see in the woods. When they were done, they showed it to the teacher. Snow White drew an apple, Red Riding Hood drew a wolf. When Pinocchio showed his drawing to the teacher, she said to go see the principal. The principal asked Pinocchio why was he there. Pinocchio said he wasn't sure. He said Snow White drew an apple, Red drew a wolf, but the teacher didn't like his drawing. The principal asked, what did you draw, Pinocchio? Pinocchio said, a woodpecker. And with that, I'm done. So, let's get back with what we're doing here. We're going to press right on. 1980, that was terrible. But I read it for you.
She did, she read it.
I read it. I even read it in order for you. Okay.
And I'm only painting the eyes white so that the red I paint over them will pop. If you just painted the red on, you're painting red on top of black and it's not going to bounce a lot of light through it. So far better for you to paint it with white first.
Jesse Papa Bear says, well, wow, people have missed you. There's about 120 watching. Juan Gonzalez says, they have good underwear indeed. Wisconsin is 5 minutes away and has all the cheese you could ever want.
I get the Armachillo cooling underwear. It's the best.
Cobweb
Yeah.
says, Mummra's eyes are black.
Cobwebs. Maybe your Mummra's eyes are black, but most of the ones I see in reference are red. So I will paint them black because you want them black. Let me go through my reference. Okay, red. 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 I don't think I have a single reference. You know what? So here we go. Now, these eyes are black. However, the toy had a button. The toy had a button that lit his eyes up. And what color did his eyes light up? Red. Mummra mystery solved. But hey man, you want black eyes, we'll give you black eyes. Yeah, his eyes are red.
Cobweb says, in the cartoon, he is sometimes shown black eyes, red irises. I have that. He says, no, do the red. He says, do the red.
Cobweb says to do the red?
Cobweb says, no, do the red.
Okay. Yeah. Red. All right, we're doing red eyes. But I'm doing black around them like all the references, so they'll be dark eyes. I just want the red to be red.
Is there a special way to mold tentacles with hydrocal mold, or is silicone better to mold?
Can you repeat that question one more
Is there
time?
a special way to mold tentacles with hydrocal mold, or is silicone better to mold?
Okay, so your question is very hard to answer because it doesn't. What you mold with is only determines what your final product is made out of. So if you want tentacles to be made out of silicone, then you want to mold in something rigid like resin. If you want tentacles to be made out of latex, then you want to mold in plaster that's going to wick the latex. What do you want your final product made out of? And that determines your mold. Not which one's easier. It's what are you trying to make? And that's the sole outcome. The sole reason is what is that end material going to be?
Style says, anyhow, thank you for all you do. Good sir, you are a godsend to the industry.
Oh, that's so very kind. Thank you.
I heard about you at Midwest Farmers Convention 2014. I loved you ever since. I'm channeling Bus 2 right now. Yeah.
Oh.
I think is mandatory.
Hooray! Don't know how you heard about me, but that person lies.
That person's
I wasn't even there that weekend. I didn't know it was your cat.
Where will the wearer of this mask see from?
Well, okay. Normally, the eyes would just get cut out. And you would use your eyes and get yourself some sweet red Mummra contact lenses. But in this case, the this is going to be a bust, so he won't see out of it. There won't be an actor in it. There'll be the actor we made of foam. Foam actors don't have to see anything. I'm going to leave these pretty white, but I'm going to go ahead and stain these teeth with a little bit of brown wax. It's kind of one of my favorite things right now for teeth. I think it looks really good.
What is the strangest character you've ever played or want?
I played an orangutan, played a giant moth, played Alkilia. I was a giant baby in a diaper. Yeah, I think giant baby kind of wins because I was mostly naked. Yeah, that's probably it. Good night, Cameron. Carl is a pretty strange character. That's true. While I was sitting here, I did see that Cameron went to bed. I said good night. Yeah. I believe it was Cameron. It is kind of far away, and I have old eyeballs.
DJ Styles, I want to order more shirts from you guys. Love the Still Be Slogan. Love the slogan go next to it. Every time I wear that shirt, I get questioned.
Oh, cool.
There's no, okay, try not to imagine big baby Alan, imagine a baby Carl. No cat, no pictures. DJ Styles says, I need a 5X black t-shirt. DJ, the only 5X colors we have is the green. We do not have them in black.
Now,
Unless
Teespring
you're
does.
ordering off Teespring.
Teespring, we have some 5X.
There you go.
Yeah, go to the Still Piece Teespring.
I don't know that they're in black, but.
Oh, yeah, I've got them in black.
Rodney Pope, I'm going to try a bunch of different flavors of Tim Tams. Rodney got a package from Australia today.
I haven't gotten a package from Australia. My wife got a package from Australia, but I haven't gotten any. So I'm not talking to Rodney right now.
At some point, in time for a story, I love a Carl story.
Oh, see, I'm bad at telling Carl stories because Alan doesn't remember a lot of what Carl does. Really, like I use a separate headspace. I know that sounds weird and cheesy, but that, I mean, that my brain is pretty compartmentalized to begin with, and you know, I won't remember something that I was supposed to remember at work until I get back to work. That's just how my brain is.
Ezekiel says that I threatened if you, he was threatened if I sent you to, which is not true.
Oh, I see. Now I know who to have a conversation with. White.
Say goodnight to John Emerson.
Good night, John.
Where are you meant to see out of this fence?
Is that the same person I asked before? Okay, this is going to be a bust, and this actually won't have an actor in it. This is going to be a bust that is foam filled. I'm just painting it first because I like doing stuff in hard mode. Yep, that's hot.
Will this have a matte finish?
What is what?
Will this have a matte finish?
The eyes will be glossy and the mouth will be glossy, but his skin will be very matte because Mummra is a mummy, so he's very dry. Not even the ancient spirits of omens can make him moist again. For a while, the Ever Living was copyrighted by someone else, and he was known as Mummra the Non-Moist. It is possible he was not known as Mummra the Non-Moist.
So's test your heat gun. How much
Always.
is it to make a mask into a bust?
Well, see, if it's a full head mask, then it adds $50. If it is a half mask, then it would add $100. That turned into a whole mask, and then get it foam filled. Like it's just a lot more construction and buildup that has to happen for it to have any structural integrity and work out.
Caitlin Longberry. Looking at the texture above the eyes, it reminds me of the weeping angel from Dr. Who.
Yeah, that crease look is very, it's a very good one.
Have you, or would you, ever do a weeping angel mask?
I have done a Weeping Angel mask. We did it for Dark Hour. We used to have a show that was an all-female cast. It was called Summer Spirits. And we pulled out all kinds of famous female horror characters because it was fun.
You also did the character at Screams.
And at Screams, when I was director there, I added a Weeping Angel into the graveyard. And I think that went very well. The actors who did that really kicked butt at it.
How much for a full clown head mask as could be?
Okay.
Ezekiel said $10,000.
Okay, no, well, see, so a standard full head mask, let's assume that a clown has hair, okay? So my standard full head masks cost $100. Adding hair would add $25, so that'd be $125. And then it's a clown, so it costs 3 times more. So a full head clown mask is $375. Because clowns cost 3 times more.
DJ Styles, the video that he posted of the final masks for Monster Camp is about 3 minutes long. It's not long.
Them eyes, yo.
Is the helmet going on it?
Oh yeah, I'm doing the full headdress and everything.
It says, somebody tried to say on Facebook, they charge $5,000 for a commissioned silicone mask. Sorry to rise. I was like, ah.
That's possible. I mean, I don't think that that's ridiculous. It's high, but a non-commissioned silicone mask can be $1,500. So I can easily see a commissioned mask being $5,000. Sure.
Lisa says red was a good choice.
Yeah, you know, when the character was, he's often depicted with red eyes. So, yeah.
Chance Spick says, saw the pics from Monster Camp, it looks amazing.
Hey, thank you. Now, what I did at Monster Camp was, I try to keep mine fairly simple. So I sculpted Whiplash while we were at Monster Camp. This is one that I sculpted while everybody else was sculpting. And then I got finished a little early, so I molded Cobra Khan.
And Longberry says that's awesome. Rob O'Brien finally got him off the bingo list.
I did.
He's awesome.
And the reason why I sculpted him at Monster Camp is I knew that you guys would never vote for him. And look at how cool this is.
That screams of pork. He looks so pouty.
It looks what?
Pouty.
Yeah, that's just, he's got that big lower lip.
He looks kind of Griffin Guard.
He does look a little bit more in guard, not a pick those.
Rodney Pope says, I want one of those. Rob O'Brien says, the lucky stables are cool.
Those were a pain in the butt to do. But I was finished with all of my base work. So I finished with all my base work and I'm like, I'm gonna do the scales on here the longest way possible. So that's why I did the scales that way. Oh, and here's Cobra Khan.
And I have pretty good vision because all of this is cut out. See my eyeball? And this is cut out. I can actually see through here too. So I get a good picture of what's going on. It's also lined up so that you can cut this out.
And put one of those party razzers in there and go, woo, and then the tongue would shoot out.
Rodney says, dang, I need one of those too. That mask is sick. Cobra's fierce looking. Whiplash is he on your website? Not yet, Lisa.
Not yet.
You just got finished. How is breathing in there?
They're both good. The Cobra, I have a good bit cut out up under here for breath, and him, this whole lip area is cut out. His bottom lip hides a big slot for breathing. So they're both pretty good.
DJ Styles, hey Alan, I was wondering how much for a life-size Bigfoot foam film?
Now, just the mask or the whole body?
That's big enough for the whole.
Yes. You take apart a Swiffer wet jet that shoots the stuff out in front of the Swiffer wet jet, and you run that mechanism up, and the hole is big enough for that.
Good night, Joseph Creations.
Good night, Joseph Creations.
Rodney says, can't wait for this COVID thing to go away so I can catch up on Alan masks. You have a giant catalog. I really like that you always have something new. Yeah,
Yes.
this week we'll get those up on the website and the goat.
And I'm going to be honest, neither Whiplash nor Cobra Khan has a name right now.
DJ Styles says the head and entire body, the entire head and body. How much?
Wow. You're probably talking in the $3,000 range is where you'd be for a full, because we're talking 8 feet tall. That's a lot of foam. 8 feet tall. That'd be a lot of fun to do. Yeah, about in the $3,000 range. You got to do a welded internal frame. So, yes, a plate so he stands up, and that's in line with. That's actually a little cheaper than what Unit 70 Studios is for that range. Distortions would be a little more than that, I think. And I know that Coaster ought to be a little more than that. So I'm on the low end of that type of full-size figure.
Fire on his bed, he could be Hades from Disney's Hercules.
A bit. The smile is different, but I can see where you're coming from. The sharp cheekbones and the angles up here, yes. And his nose isn't that sharp. His nose has kind of a rounded ball on it.
Rude. Woohoo, welded frame.
Yeah, welded frames. What? I didn't want any more caffeine.
Okay. Would you use rigid foam or squishy foam on Bigfoot?
The parts that came out of the mold would get squishy foam. All of his body would be rigid foam because the hands wouldn't come out. And if I had to make silicone molds, then that would, jump the price way up. So it would be squishy foam in hands, feet, and head, but then rigid foam in the body so it could hold up its structure.
Who says I've got a few projects, but I'm still real bored?
I hear you, buddy.
Ezekiel, we don't. Alan, what shirt are you wearing?
Oh, I'm wearing my Skeletor shirt.
Ezekiel, we're not wearing matching shirts.
No, we're the same color, but I am wearing the everything I know about management I learned from Skeletor that is on my Teespring. I did not mean for the end of the hammock staff to line up with my nipple, but it does. So there you go. It's for the ladies. Oh. And then my wife is wearing the Stilt Beast University shirt in blue.
Do you ever use great stuff? We have used a few trees. We have used it for a few trees and other props.
I prefer Loctite spray foam to great stuff.
TJ Styles, that would definitely be on my order list for you in the near future. I just need to get back to some normal living. Funds are limited thanks to this virus.
Dude, I hear you. Me too.
Rue turns 40 on Thursday.
I knew Rue had a birthday coming up.
Oh, that's great. Do you have any pins or patches?
Patches are coming. I have approved the artwork from Teespring already, and still piece patches are coming.
Good night, Stan.
Good night, Stan. Whenever you're using alcohol ink, make sure you wear gloves. That'll really stain your fingers. Do as I say, not as I do. I'm just running some alcohol through the airbrush to clean out this color that was in here. It's a nice burgundy color, but it's not what I need for this mess. This was the last color we put on Stephen Haynes's Jeepers Creepers.
Why do you prefer Loctite to great stuff?
Because it's a different, it's a stronger density. You can sculpt it because it skins up in about 5 minutes if you mixed it with water. It skins up. Watch some videos. Go to my YouTube channel and watch my videos on Loctite foam. I've got 4 or 5 of them. It's a really impressive material. There's nothing that Great Stuff does that Loctite doesn't do better.
What it says, Alan, you are killing me. Good sir, good night.
Good night, sir.
One like Jim said, I found that out the hard way. It looked like I cut my hand open, but can't use one of those things.
Yeah, it'll do it. Now I put in some shadow gray. Shadow gray. But first, one more round of alcohol to really make sure the shadow gray is a translucent color, so it has translucency. What that means, though, is if there's any color left in the airbrush, it's going to pick that up. It's not like straight black, which will beat up any other color in your cup.
Good night, Gregory James. Good night, Roger Pope.
Good night, gang. How many folks are watching, Blake?
94.
Holy moly, a lot of people on. I better do something impressive. Okay, so here we go. Shadow gray. Pinata ink. It is a alcohol-based ink.
One more round of alcohol. Cheers. Is this straight alcohol or is it mixed with something?
It's straight 99% alcohol. Alcohol so strong, you won't remember what you were doing the day before.
Allie Carroll says, I enjoyed watching the YouTube channel.
Why, thank you. I appreciate that. And we are going to cut in the shadows on this guy. Just have the dial in the airbrush. And because it's translucent, you can really layer it up.
Have you ever been to the beach or a desert town in Kansas City?
I have not sadly made it there.
Will you have those saliva lines in the back of his throat, or are those spider webs from the timepiece?
I'm pretty sure that's saliva because 80s cartoons were gross. They were competing with the real Ghostbusters, and they had Slimer. And he was a constant source of body function fluids.
Wondering how you have your airbrush system hooked up. I want my air compressor out the back porch, but if you can run the lines in the house with the wall.
Yeah. Airbrush hose reel that I unreel and take to my airbrush. That is fed by a line that comes through a hole in the wall. And then this little bit right here, right there, that's the remote trigger for that outlet. The air compressor is always on, but I only turn on and off the outlet with the remote. Ding! Now I don't have to run out and turn on my air compressor.
Is there an adjustable sculpted half mask stand that you can wear?
Adjustable for the angle? No. I mean, you could make one fairly easy. I have a half mask sculpting stand. It is not adjustable.
Hello, Scott Creighton.
Hey, Scott.
We were fortunate enough to have snagged some old Omnimax mechanics. This is Juan Gonzalez in Minnesota. Jordan Bunsey, when we first got your jumping stilts werewolf at the beast, we had an actor who would do flips in a costume. It was so neat to see that in person.
Yeah, the jumping stilts are awesome. I kind of stopped using them. I had some. I was working at a haunt park that had. I was outside, and the feet are like curved, and I kept hitting pebbles, and I would ski on those pebbles, and it just got dangerous to use the jumping stilts. So I stopped using them, and I stopped selling them. But I might get back into it. It is nice to be able to move a bit like a monster. Now I'm painting all this, but all this is going to be covered up by the headdress.
A sheet you can scan and some engineering might work in this section. The Omnimax system ran on a continuous use air system, 120 psi, continuous redonkulous airflow. Our entire prop setup never runs out of air, let alone our accurate airbrush setup.
Yeah, we have 2 screw drive compressors at Dark Alley, and we have a big air compressor. See how I'm kind of getting drama back in this from the dry brush, but I'm getting that drama back in it. That is what the shading with the airbrush does. And that shadow gray is nice because you've got to put it on a couple times for it to really show up good. And that means you have wiggle room for screwing up, which is important to me. The airbrush is like a second chance at sculpting. You can go back in and kind of fix, stuff. I feel pretty good about that. I know he's a cartoon guy, but let's give him a little bit of stain on the teeth.
Chad Smith says good night.
Good night, Chad.
John C. Mummra would transform and make himself anywhere from tall to gigantic. Would you be making a full still piece costume in the future?
No, no, not. It's not in my plans. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's not in my plans. So, who is ready for a magical secret? And I think I've showed you guys before this material that I use now. It is the Sculpt Nouveau wax, brown wax. I just have to find it. It's kind of how my life works. The Sculpt Nouveau wax for teeth. Started using this a while back, and it's kind of awesome. And I had help in my shop who are very helpful, and they put things away, but they don't always put things away where I would put them away. And this is not a complaint, because they are very helpful. Little ball of wax. Got a lid on it. It's a jar. Oil paint is over here, and all the oil paint goes right there. Oh.
Juan Gonzalez, you're asking about ordering. Are you asking to order a pin? I'm not selling pins. I don't have them on a website. When the pins come in, I'll be happy to send you one. We don't sell them. They're just swag. They're just giveaways. If that's what you're asking, try to keep up. I don't think I've got that right. Scott.
They hit it good.
Scott Craig, thanks for sharing Monster Can 5 throughout the weekend. It was fun to watch everyone's progress. They all did awesome.
Metal Wax Brown by Sculpt Nouveau. I like it a lot for teeths.
Thinking the Lino and the Claw Glove might be some nice additions.
Well, see, I'm not, I hate to say this, I'm not necessarily making these in order just to have something to sell. Mummra, I kind of wanted to make. He was on my list, and it happens that several folks out there are big fans. The licensed characters, I'm mostly doing Masters of the Universe characters, simply because I fully intend on dressing up like Beastman and going to PowerCon in California. It's on our Google Calendar for September 2021. And roughing up some He-Man while I'm in my Beastman costume. I think that'll be a good time. And I just have more downtime because of what's happening in the world. So I have more time for these type of projects. And let's face it, these cartoon character designs are really versatile. And I am able to use them for so many other things. And you would never even know, when I make a sweet gargoyle out of this whiplash mask, you'll never even know it was the reptile guy from Eternia.
I needed my glasses.
TJ Styles says, man, my eyes are heavy, but I can never pull myself away from seeing Alan finish what he is doing.
Well, I'm glad you enjoy it, sir.
Jordan Butsy, I know I've talked about that werewolf. For me, it was one of my big inspirations and reasons I got into haunting. Thanks for making legendary characters you've made and continue to make.
That's so cool, because that is a costume that I sold from a different company. I was in a company called Creature Crates at the time, and I was the designer for that company and one of the sculptors. And we, boy, 2002 maybe to 2004, and that was it.
Michelle, good night, Michelle Schulte.
Hi, Michelle.
Steve Haynes.
Steve.
Thank you again for a phenomenal Monster Camp weekend, allowing me to be a part of it. It's so professional and so safe that hopefully more Monster Camps can come soon. Thank you, Steve. Did our best on this one. This was a this was a challenge, but it worked out.
Trial by fire.
It just says you'll be flanked by the Aussie in whatever costume you think I could wear. Bruce says there will be a whole pack of them.
Yes, and that's why I'm kind of making all these characters, because once I make one arm, like one arm set, that works for all of them.
1980 says now if you can pull off a man with faces, that would be epic.
So that is my friend Dan Caro's favorite character, and I've already been thinking about how to do it, and I think it can be done.
Hey Alan, have you ever done the alcohol paint rub like Ed Edmonds does on some of his masks? If so, what are your thoughts on that style?
I like it. It makes everything look a little bit wet. I like it. It's a good look. It's I think I kind of have a signature paint style with my dry brushing, and that's part of Ed's signature paint style. So I don't do it too much. Once I discovered it, I went a little crazy and I did it a lot, and then now I don't. Simply because it's kind of Ed's thing. Now there's some masks that I do, like my Piggin mask, War Piggin, that Al Driver sculpted while he was here at a Monster Camp Light while he was here. I do that one with the rub out because it just screams for it. That's just the way you paint that. So there's some characters where it just works better than others. For me. Okay. It is my belief that this Mummra is almost painted. I have some black to do around the eyes.
How do you know what size mask to make for women's sizes without having them there to cast them?
If you need to, what you do is you have them run a flexible measuring tape around right above their brow ridge and this way. And I show those measurements in my how to make a plaster head form video, because you want to make a plaster head form for you. But I keep a number of head forms here in the shop that are different sizes and shapes. And I had a client a while back who ordered a small gravedigger mask. And I just modified the gravedigger mask to fit a much smaller head on one of these new head forms that I bought. And it worked out great. Yeah.
Is Monster Camp once a year?
No, Monster Camp is a couple times a year. The most we've done is 3 in a year.
We're working on it. We're trying to get a little better and a little smoother. It's just a giant undertaking having that many people here in the shop all making a mask at the same time. So, yeah.
Say goodnight to DJ Styles.
Good night, DJ Styles.
Hello, Robert White.
Hello, Robert White. So I'm looking. And he has a little bit of black eyeliner on. And we're going to make that happen. And then that is going to be the last thing that I do on Mummra before I call it a night. We're going to get his eyeliner on.
Black eyeliner will only make the red eyes pop.
Yes.
Like Carol says, I have a one-of-a-kind mask that I will eventually get. Finn Dugwolf from Ireland. Mummra turned out fantastic. I love the picture.
Hey, thank you. We're going with black 3.0.
Hello, Grumpy UK. You ever do foam latex? And if so, how would you rate it on a scale of difficulty?
To figure out, it's an 8. To repeat your process over and over again, once you get it right, a 4.
Making a one-piece transfer work with mask latex and a hydrocal mold. Making a one-piece transfer work with mask latex and a hydrocal mold.
I don't know what you mean by one-piece transfer, but yes, masked latex works great in a hydrocal mold. I like double cap rivets. You can glue and then you can double cap rivet. I don't ever trust just the chemical bond of glue. The glue I trust most is contact cement.
Did you have a good weekend with Monster Camp?
I did. I always enjoy Monster Camp.
Probably get tired of me asking, but have you made a shrimp for Fishy Delicious?
I haven't yet. When I do it, I'll do it live and you won't miss it.
You darken the eyelashes above the eyes when you
Those are not eyelashes. Those are just grooves in the skin. If they were eyelashes, he'd be a girl, Mummra. They're just creases. They're like that in drawings. One very last thing is now I hit a highlight color on the outside of the eyeliner to make that pop even more. Now we kind of just blend off. See how that pops now?
Did you do around the eyes with a Sharpie or text pen, or is it just too toxic for latex?
A Sharpie's fine. You can.
Brian says one loves a smoky eye.
Right. Mummra, the ever-living. There we go. He's painted.
Why use masks instead of just face paint?
Because the level of skill that it takes to apply face paint is high to get it to a high level. And that's going to take time or money and materials. It's going to take all those things. So in a haunted house setting, a mask you can put on, and no amount of face paint can give you a werewolf snout. You cannot face paint a werewolf snout onto a person. So if you're changing the actor's face, then you kind of need it. Mummra does not have actual human anatomy. You know, his cheekbones are bigger, his brow ridge is bigger. Paint's not going to give you that. So masks are really good for things that are not human. If you're doing zombies, you're doing cannibal rednecks, yeah, do makeup. That's also a very low level of makeup that you don't necessarily need a high level of skill for. And those good makeups take time. When you're trying to get 30 actors ready for a haunted house in an hour and a half, you can't do a 45-minute makeup job. It's just not practical. So why? A mask is one awesome monster moment frozen in time. That's what it is. And whenever you need to get back to that moment of time, boom, you put the mask on and you're there. So that is why masks will kind of always have a place, not just in haunts, but also all over. There's also something liberating about putting on a mask. Many actors, and myself when I was younger included, you just get a better performance out of when their face is hidden. All their self-consciousness goes away, and you allow them to literally put on another persona and then be that character and be that monster, be whatever it is. And when you have on paint, you still feel like you, and all of your insecurity is still with you. And when you put the mask on, you have this big rush of freedom and adrenaline, and you're expected to be the other, and that's kind of nice. So why masks? Those reasons. And they're cool.
Glossy the eyes.
Oh, I have to wait for all of this to dry really well before I gloss the eye. So I might not gloss the eye tonight simply because the black, it needs to dry, and the black needs to dry, as well as the red isn't 100% dry, and I don't want to sit here with a heat gun forever. So there you go. So that is it for tonight, gang. Hope you enjoyed our shorter, kinder, gentler live feed with just me and the wife. Wife, say goodnight to these fine folks.
Good night.
And I say goodnight, and I say, go make stuff.